This is North Dakota Today.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to North Dakota Today. It is raining outside, and yesterday, I've got to show you this really quick. We all went outside to go pick up some trash. Here, go ahead and roll a piece of this clip right here. We all went out there to pick up trash for the Mike Morgan's Garbage Bag Challenge. So we're also hoping that this is going to be inspiring people to kind of go around and pick up all over Fargo and Moorhead and also beyond the communities. I've even heard that as far as Arkansas are even participating in the challenge. Isn't that right, Anna?
Different parts of the country. Yeah, so a lot of people have been participating in this. And if you get out, make sure you fill up a garbage bag. Go to the Valley News Live website, click on Garbage Bag Challenge at the top and submit your picture, because we just love seeing them from all different parts of the country. It is so much fun to watch. So there's a picture of a bunch of us. I know there was kind of two different groups that went out yesterday. So
I think it's great. I think it's absolutely awesome. I'm not as far to say we should do this every Monday, but I will say you can go ahead and drive by the Valley News Live station, and I can go ahead and be assured to say, at least as of yesterday, we're looking pretty clean outside.
We are, yeah. It's looking really good.
We're picking up the trash.
Yeah, I'm proud of our team for getting out there, and you know, some of us did not dress the right way. Like some of us, me mostly, did not wear the right footwear for the situation. So,
well, it's
kind of lesson.
Jordan, he brought his muck boots and everything.
Yeah, he did.
I brought some boots too, but I guess it's just, you know, when you're an MMJ reporter, they have those on standby when you're mostly, I call this the house cat position, we're mostly in studio. Sometimes we're so spoiled with wearing the stilettos and all the heels that we forget about, oh yeah, there's outside, it's pretty muddy and pretty snurdy. I don't know.
It's snurdy. It is snurdy. And today it's very muddy and wet and rainy. The weather is not ideal. So yeah, that's just what it is. But I know tomorrow is a first alert weather day. We'll probably hear about that tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And yeah, a lot of fun stuff.
You know, I'm just glad we got a little bit of a break and got a little bit of a heat up, and I could do without the sub-zero temperatures. I see a little break from sub-zero. I'm okay for it next year, but
my heating bill could take a break from sub-zero temperatures.
Old Man Winter needs to go to bed. But here's one of your favorite shows.
Yes,
we're here to talk
if you're
about
staying inside, you're looking for something to binge on Netflix, Love is Blind is a big thing. Did season 1, that blew up. They just did season 2, and it stars, well, Vanessa and Nick Lachey. You know, Nick was in, NSYNC? Was it NSYNC? I think it was.
I think it was.
Boys? I always forget.
Oh my gosh, you're right. And I was like, oh yeah, it's this. No, he wasn't in NSYNC.
May have been Backstreet Boys.
He was in another boy band, because that was Justin, and he wasn't in NSYNC. I think it was another boy band though.
He was great anyway, and we loved him. So Nick and Vanessa are married. And Nick, of course, was married to Jessica Simpson before Vanessa. It's just
I do know that, because they had their, remember, chicken taste, or the tuna tastes just like chicken.
Yeah, boy, was that a fun time of their lives. But you know, putting all of this back into reality TV, because apparently that's what Nick likes to do. So he and Vanessa started this project, I guess, would you say? Or it's an experiment. They call it an experiment.
I hope they're not the creators of this show, because this is pretty nasty what you're about to say.
So what they do is they take, I believe, 12 men and 12 women, maybe 15 on each side. None of them get to meet until they are engaged. So basically they sit in these pods. There's a wall in between. They can talk through the speakers, get to know each other. The more I've researched into this, it's almost like they only get 15 to 20 minutes per chat, which seems like nothing.
Wow, because I watched a few of those episodes because you wanted me to, and wow, some of those conversations get pretty deep. They're only allowed to talk for 15, 20 minutes.
Well, I think the nice thing about the show, and the reason that I am not against it, is because when you're going into this knowing everyone in this building wants to get married, maybe wants to have kids.
Like, or wants to be on TV.
Right, or wants to be on TV. But you'd kind of drop all those preconceived notions. You drop all like the small chit chat. How's the weather today? How's this? And you go right to like, do you want to have kids? What is your career? How are you going to support the family financially? Like, you just get right into it. So you can have a lot more substance. Point being, the whole reason we're talking about this is because there was an announcement made, probably Friday, that one of the more challenging people that had been on the show, one of the more polarizing people, mostly everyone hated him, Shake. They announced he was going to be the host of the show.
And I know we have
freaked out.
Conflicting opinions about it. So if you want to stay up to speed, what it is we're talking about, you know, watch the show. This is how I feel about it when I watch the reunion part where they all kind of talk about the show. I feel that Nick, Vanessa, and everyone there is being an adult and being mature and being emotionally mature and taking this really serious. But on Shake's part, he's the one who kind of stimulated a conversation. I think he would be an excellent host because he is literally, I'm sorry, he is saying what everyone at home is sometimes thinking, and that is, you're gonna have to correct me on the names, Shane and the blonde girl and the blonde, I mean, I could see that they were
so Shake and Deepti were together, and then Shane.
And I get it.
It's just like a whole thing.
Listen, I'm totally about emotionally connecting to people, but at the end of the day, appearance, how someone looks like, I mean, you have to be attracted to them. I think that's a very vain thing to say, but at the end of the day, when people look at someone, you have to know that you're attracted to them.
I agree to some extent. So here's where we differ.
Okay.
Is that, like, I'd be open, if I was single, I'm not, obviously I'm married, I'd be open to the experiment because I think it's an interesting way to meet someone based on the substance of their character, not what they look like.
100%.
Yeah, I do care what people look like. However, that's pretty much never why I've made a decision to get into a relationship with someone in my life. Like,
no, I get that. I just mean, like, I know he said a few things that are really rude, but at the end of the day, I just feel that he kind of breaks the ice, and there are some things that are not the most kindest thing that sometimes you are thinking of on the other end of the screen. And I feel like he says them and he's entertaining. He makes the show entertaining, where, you know, if you don't kind of have that, I almost feel like we're watching a therapy session. I do feel it's good to be emotionally mature, be in control of your emotions, be an adult. Like, I agree in all of that, but he kind of helped for me. I was almost snoozing I'm just not really into reality TV, so he made it interesting for me.
Yeah, so they were floating this idea that he would host season 4.
And I'd watch.
The internet exploded. You and I had polarizing opinions on it. And then somebody else came out and said, it was just an April Fool's joke.
Oh.
But now it got the rest of us thinking, like,
yeah,
maybe that could be a thing. I don't know. The reason that I was against him hosting is because he's like the one character who doesn't even believe in the experiment. So it's kind of hard to sell it when you don't believe in it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that now, gosh, I always like to say I'm above 25, but in my 30s.
Post 25, yeah.
Post 25.
Post 20s even. Yeah.
I feel that what I know now of what I knew then in your 20s is, especially when it comes to marriage, there's probably some questions I should have asked, my husband, just so I would have known whether or not we would have mixed, and we probably wouldn't have had, some issues and challenges. He was in the military, so he was gone half the time, more than half the time, because, he'd go to Afghanistan, then there was training, and so I pretty much, it's like being a married single mother. But I still feel like at the core issues, there's a lot of questions that sometimes it's more of like, oh, what's your favorite drink? Or, those shallow questions when you can ask, what's your religion? What's your value on family? Do you like their family? Do they like your family? Because at the end of the day,
the substance.
You still have to marry the other person's family.
That's where I'm pro the experiment, because, yeah, looks matter, but boy, the substance, if you don't have that base of substance, it's just not going to work.
Oh, yeah, no, so single people, go out there and ask those tough questions.
Yeah, and go watch Love is Blind. Season 2 just got on Netflix. Binge it. And then season 3 is coming up very soon. So.
All right, but first we have some local steals and deals to show.